This is a software training course and this is conducted by Shrestha Club. So I welcome you, all of you, in this. And first of all, I will request all of you to rename yourself in the format we have told already. That is, first your college name and then a hyphen your name. Like, for example, if my college is SSBT and my name is Mayur Patil, so rename yourself in the format SSBT hyphen Mayur Patil. Okay, so I request you, all of you, to rename yourself in that format only. So now I will quickly share one PPT to you to introduce our speaker for today. Okay, so our speaker for today is Mr. Nyaneshwar Kedar sir. So sir is a BE in computer engineering and currently he is working as assistant system engineer in Tata Consultancy Services, Pune. And sir has also experience in software training. And currently, he is also a member of Shrestha Club, and he regularly gives seminars to the youth on value based on ancient Vedic wisdom scriptures. Okay, I'll request all of you to please mute yourselves. Thank you. So, and sir is also a national level champion in judo and four times national level champion. And he has won three silver medal and one bronze medal. And sir has also been honored by Scout Raj Puraskar. So it is a great fortune to have Mr. Nyaneshwar Kedar sir with us today. So this is it about the sir. I'll stop sharing. Yeah, and for last, I'll uh, want to tell all of you that if you have any questions during the session, then first I will need all of you to please raise your hands. If you want to ask any queries, then we will allow you to unmute and then you can ask your queries. And also at the end of the session, we will be giving you a chance to ask any question if you have regarding the session. So please be ready with your questions. You can write it down somewhere on the notes like that. And at the end of the session, when we give the time, you can ask all of your queries. So thank you very much. And with all the enthusiasm, we will start the session now. Okay, over to you, Naneshwar sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mayur sir. Very warm good evening to all of you. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thanks. So today we are going to learn some Python basics. Without wasting time, let us start. So what we are going to learn in this module, that what is Python and why we are using Python. So most of you are aware about the coding languages, different coding languages. There is C, C++ is there, and then there is the Python. So why Python? Python is very simple to learn and everyone can start their journey, their coding journey from Python very easily. Yeah. Then next we will see the installation, that you can install you can install Python on your personal laptop, whether it is having Windows or Ubuntu or Mac. You can install it. For Ubuntu and Mac, most of the time the Python is already installed there. So for Windows, you need to install it. And then syntax and some data types and some few activities are there. Let us go inside. So as I already said that Python is like as simple as in English. Everyone can learn it, and it's very powerful framework is also available there, like Django and Flask. So let us start. actual coding. So whenever we are starting with the coding in any language, whether it is C, C++ or Python, so what we write first time, hello world. So this is the simple syntax that we are using to print something. Here print is the one of the function, and inside that we need to use this parenthesis. And we can use to print the string, we can use a single quote or double quote. Both are valid in this Python. So we are now printing hello world. Now this is the one of the online compiler that we can say, like a notebook. Just we need to click there and it's running. So now we need to check how to install it in our machine. Yeah. So currently there are two major versions of Python are available, Python 2 and Python 3. As discussed, this was the Google Column, where we are just done with the hello world code. So there are other online platforms are also there, Python Tutor, Binder, and for offline you can go for Spider, Jupyter, PyCharm, Anaconda. As well you can use your Visual Studio Code as well. Yeah, so to install Python in your Windows machine, you can directly go to the python.org. Just search it in your browser, and here you will see the download button for the latest version. Download Python 3.10.1. You can download this and you can install it in your machine, and after that you can try downloading the different kind of offline software that needs to be supported, like an editor. So in Python, what is variables? So as we know, in different languages, we need some variables to store the data. So to store the data, we are assigning some name. That naming convention for the variables is also somewhat special, that we need to keep in mind always, that choose meaningful name. We don't need to use any special character, or we need not start our variable name with the numerals like that. And also one more thing, most important thing, don't use Python keywords. What is the keywords? Keyword is nothing but keyword is like an we can say dictionary, predefined dictionary for Python. So we can't use that outside the scope. So while defining the variables, we need to make sure that we are defining like any small character, any capital character we can use. Any there is an exception in the symbols. We can use this underscore at the start of the variable name. So let us try running this. So this is valid. What it says, this is valid, so it is okay. Let us print something, so that again we will print hello. Let us try. Yeah, see, so both the keywords that we use, that are the both the variables that we define, that both are the syntactically correct. And so let us try this third one, that this 9x is a variable that we declare, but there is something wrong. Let us say what is wrong there. See, 9x false. What it is saying, that this is invalid syntax. So what is invalid here? So we have started our variable name with the numeral, which is not load in Python. So to make an comment in Python, we are using hash. For single line comment, we can use hash, and this line will be as a commented out. See, now there's no impact on our program. It is simply printing as hello. And one more thing, see here, we have declared the variable y, but what we did before the y, we have put one symbol dollar. So this is also not valid syntax in Python to declare variables, as it is saying that false start with a symbol. So if we remove this dollar, then it will be perfectly fine. See, there is no error. Let us again print something to ensure that first line is executed successfully. See, so first line is executed successfully, so this is printing second line. So also here we need to make sure that we are not using capital P here. So because this Python is case sensitive, we need to use their symbol, whatever keywords they have given as it is. So see here, traceback, so some error that it throws now if we did not follow the guidelines properly. This is how we are done with the hello world program. So now let us try some declaring some variables, and let us try to take some input from user and as well as print in front of our screen. So hopefully x is equal to 5, and then next let us say y is equal to college. Let us try this first. So what will you think? Is this is the correct syntax for this or not? No. Let us try and check. See, for first time it is okay, but you can see here the arrow is shown at the second line. There is something wrong. So this is college is a string, and we need to give single quote or double quote so that it will be executed successfully. Okay, here we are. To print any variables or whatever value we have stored in the variable, we need to use print function parenthesis and just that variable name. Is that very simple? See, like this. Let us print another variable too. See, both the variables are successfully printed. So now next task is what we will do. We will try printing these both the variables in a single line. As you see here, we have printed this in different lines. Also, you might have noticed that we are not explicitly declaring whether it is integer or whether it is string, like we are declaring in C, C++, like we are declaring like this, integer a is equal to something, something, right? So then only it will be calculated as integer. Otherwise, it will throw error. But here, what does Python? In Python, it takes every variable as a string. By default, the string format is there. They are following. So if we, yeah, right. Let us print their type. We can also print their type. Print type of x. What will be the type now? It should be string. Although it is number, see, it is integer. Let us try something different. Add x plus y and comment it out. See, now on line number 6, it is showing error. Why? Because it has been taken as a string and this is a number. So after assigning value, it is automatically detecting its type. By default, it is string, but if we are specifying any special, then it will be as a integer or float or string. So what is this integer, float or string? So these are the data types. Let us move towards here, as we see, names are case sensitive, so we need to use proper format. See, here we have declared the variable x and we have also assigned the value 9 as in x. But here what we did, we have mistakenly did is x as a capital X, and we are trying to multiply it with 5, but it is not working. So now, just to remove this error, we are putting it as it is. Whatever we have put the variable name that we are putting here. Now it should give, yeah, it is nothing printing. Let us print the value of 1. See, now successfully we have removed the error and we have successfully printed whatever store in y. So what is happening here? First of all, we have declared one variable x, and then we have assigned the value 9 into that x. Then we did some operation here, x multiply by 5. Then what is its result will be like this. It is performing the operation 9 multiplied by 5. It will give 45. So then we have assigned this result to this y variable, and then we have just print it out like this. Just a minute. Okay. Data types. So here are some major data types that we discussed: integer, float, and complex number is also there. Sequence types is also there, like string that we discussed. Then bytes and byte array, list, tuple are there. So let us discuss one by one. Let us move towards numbers. Okay. So now we will perform some operations on numbers. Let us say we are declaring a is equal to 6 and b is equal to 7. Let us try adding this into the result variable. So we are declaring this result variable, and what we are doing, we are adding these two numbers a and b. Then what will happen if we print this result? Sorry, does it give proper output, or it will throw an error? It will be throwing an error. No. Okay, I think this advanced one. No problem. So sometimes what happens, if we have mistakenly, if this Python is taking it as a string, then we need to change it its type. So if we run now, then it will throw error. See, now it is throwing an error. So to remove this, we need to, there is one concept called as typecasting. What is typecasting? Typecasting is nothing but we are just changing the data type like this. But if this is a number, then only it will be possible. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Naneshwar sir.
Yes, yes.
Can you please zoom a little bit? We are not able to see the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Thank you. How about now? Yeah.
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Thank you. So here, this is the typecasting we are doing here, because why? This is 6 here has been put as a string. So it is not taking as a number, as an integer, and we need to print it. See, now it is printing. So what we did, this is already as an integer, so we have not explicitly made it as an integer. And then for this a variable, we are typecasting it into integer. Let us print their types there. Print type of a. Type is also function and print is also function. Simple function. We are going very smoothly. Let's remove everything. See, here type of A is string and type of B is integer. So we have not declared it, but it as already said that Python is taking it, and that is only identifying the data that we have entered is which kind of or float. What is float? Float is nothing but some decimal value there. So see, so this is float type now, and if you want this 7 to be converted into float, then let us try that too. How you can do that? Just let us take another variable, that is result, res. Let us take it as full. Result is equal to float of b. Then let us print the type of, okay, let us print the result only. We will check whether it will print 7.0 or 7. Print result. It is showing error. Why? Because we have added one more parenthesis, closing parenthesis. See, we have given as input as 7, but here we have declared another variable, that is result, and then we have typecast it. What we did? Typecasting. We have converted this integer value to floating point value. So after converting this, it is printing at 7.0. Let us move forward and let us see in Python how we can take input from user and how we can deal with such data. Let us start. A is equal to, just we need to put it as input. A is equal to input. Very simple. In C, C++, we are using C in, C out like that. But here we need to just use input, and here also B is equal to input. Let's first try for A and print what we are doing. First of all, we will print both the values. Print B. See, now it is asking for input, so it is loading. Let us give it as 5 and then hit enter. Then it is asking for second value. Here also you can see the indicator in which line the code is executing. The second line B. So for B we are using some value as btech. Okay. So now here you see first 2 lines we have given the input and then we have printed it as it is. Let us try once again and let us print this. Now we will do addition. Add. We have declared one another variable add, and in that add variable we are adding A and B. Now we will give the proper numbers and let us see what it will be give. 2 and 5. See, this is how we are taking the input from the user and it is printing as whole addition. But let us see, there is one problem here. We added 2 and 5. What it should give? I am adding the comment. We have value 2 for A variable. For B variable, we have entered 5. So see what we did. It did as, this is known as string concatenation. 2, 5 has been added like this, so it's became 25. If we print the type of add, then you will be shocked. What is the type? It is not integer, it is not float, it is something different. Let us see. Okay, 2 and 5. See, what is the type? Type is string. Oh, so here we need this typecasting method that helps us to convert the string. By default, that Python had taken it as string, and then we need to teach Python that no, this is not string. We need to do some numerical operations. So we are typecasting it, and after this, it will be as an integer. See, 2 and sorry, okay, class integer. Let us print the value. Two and 5. See, now it is perfectly fine. Here we don't need just only 7 to be printed as it looks like some uneasy. So let us try adding some more additional data. Addition is, and that's all. Add plus sign. So this is the format, this is the syntax we are using. So now what it will do, it will print addition is, and whatever is stored in this add variable, that it will print. See, I am giving 2, then again 5. See, it thrown some error. Okay, okay, got it. So simply we can add this comma. See, we can also add simply this comma, and here it is, addition is 7. Now we will perform some more operations. So we are done with addition. So now one more thing we can do, we can declare the type of the variable while we are taking the input only at that time. So now it is not required to explicitly typecast the variable. Let us give it as here only, integer input. Then we need to close this parenthesis here to integer. And this is all. So now if we run this, this will give the same result. 2, then again let us give 5 only. See, addition is 7. So now this is the addition operator, arithmetic operator that we know, plus, minus, then multiply, divide, remainder. So we will give one by one, plus minus, you know how to multiply the two numbers. Just add the star and do it. Okay, 2, 5. Addition, not addition. Now here we are multiplying. Let us give result is only. And then this is the multiply operator, then divide, single slash. What it will do, it will give an output as a decimal pointed value. Let's give first 5, then 2, result is 2.5. Sometimes in some of the programs, some of the code in the examinations, like any placement tries are there, so they need only the decimal, they don't need decimal value, they need purely integer value. So to do that, we can simply add one more slash here and then see the magic. 5, 2. 5 divided by 2, it will give 2 only. The decimal value 0.5 has been removed by adding the single slash only, single additional more slash. Then what we can do, there is one more operator that is known as modulo. What it does, so here we are dividing 5 divided by 2. It is giving as result 2.5 in floating point. In integer it is giving only 2. Where is the remainder? What value is remaining after we are done with the division of the number? So that it will give 5 and 2. So remainder is 1, because 2 would are 2, 4. Then 1 is remaining out of 5. And if we need to print some square or triple square, cube, or like that also we can do. Simply we need to add this double star. 2, and let us give 2 only. So it will give the square of 2. What is square of 2? 2 raised to 2, 4. If we need to cube, that also we can do. We just need to give the a value. What is a? A is 2. Okay. Then we need the cube of 2. So to do this, we simply need to place the value in variable b, and then this is simple, very simple, that we are printing the cube and we are printing the square. So we are done with the arithmetic operations too. Then we will go, let us start playing with the strings. So string, let us take as your my name only. Name is equal to something. Okay, Janeshwar. And then we will try printing out this in various manners. First of all, as it is name, print name. So it is printing it. It is taking the value as it is and it is printing it. So if I want to check whether there is any z present in the string, right? So to do this, we can use the function, predefined function. What is that? Just name dot find. See, it is helping us, and I want to find z. So we can directly print this. What it will give? It will give some true or false value. Let us check now. Yeah, it is giving -1. -1 means false only. And if I try searching out for n, see 1. What is this? It is giving us the position of the first n occurred in the string. So here the positioning starts from 0, the 0th index 0, d, 1, n. Okay, let us simplify it. 0, we are having d, and fourth position we are having n, second position we are having y, third position we are having a. Okay, like this. And all it is going on from 0, 1, 2, 3. Let us say if n is available, but now I am trying to search for capital N. Does it show? It will show or not? No, because it is case sensitive and we need to see. Sorry, this we need to comment it out. Yeah, so for multi-line comment we can use this trick. We can add 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. I am using single quote only, and now it will, Python will treat this as a string, but we are not printing this, we are not doing any operation on the string, so it will be as a comment only for us, for our reference. See, now it is showing -1. Why? Because there is no capital N available in this name. Sometimes some examiner ask, or some of the placement papers, you might find that we need to find the substring. So how can we find that? So to do that, we can simply let us take it as a result only, result variable we are taking. And what we are doing, we are finding, we want to find dn, and in what in which string we need to find it. So to do that, we are using one more another keyword, that is in, dn in name. Like this we can use simply. Now let me comment it out and let me directly print this. Sorry. Okay, now we are directly printing this. Now it will print either true or either false. It is printing as true. Why it is printing as true? Because dn is available in this name string, that's why. So now let us try something, another name that is not present in this string. Let us check. So it is showing as false. Why? Because dnjk is not a part of the string dny, right? This is the string, is not the part of the string, so it is printing as false. So these are the another you can say data type, that is boolean, either true or false. So we have checked both these. There is another function is there. Let us remove this and try. Please take note of this few functions that will be really helpful during your placement exams and during your projects. So we need to make it as a capital. The d and y in both we need capital. So to do that, we are using upper function. Just add this upper function and use this parenthesis name dot upper. So now this will printing as a capital string. Let us print here itself. See, now it is printing it as capital. If you want to print only in lower, then just simply use lower keyword. And now we are adding some capital letters in between the string. That too, you see, here it is working. Also, if you want to print the first letter as a capital and remaining all as a normal lower, so to do that, we are using this title keyword. See, now this is standard naming convention that we are printing the as they are required. One more thing. So here, if you want to print what is present in the string at the place 0, that also we can print. How? Just simply we need to use this brackets, square brackets, name, and then let us try from 0 totally. So what is present there in 0th position? D is present. If I put here as a -1, then it will print last word, last letter. What is last letter? R. See how simple it is. And then here also there is one more concept is there, string slicing. Okay, so what is string slicing? So let us take we want start index is 0, and just use this colon, and then we want to skip every second word from the string, and then we need to print it. So I am placing this to here. So this is start. Second, in between these two columns, there is last. So last we need to traverse whole this string, and then we need to step after every two words. Let us print. Let us check. So see, here it is printing D. After D, it is skipping one letter N. After skipping N, it is printing Y. After skipping A, it is printing N. Then like this this is happening. So let us move towards some activity. So here indentation we will check this letter. So audience, so from anybody of you, do you want to try this? I will stop my sharing screen and you can just present or you can just try. Just raise your hands. We can give opportunity to you. Very simple activity is there. We need to print your name only. First activity, write a code to print your name on the screen. Anybody wants to try?
If anybody, yeah, okay. Vishnu has raised the hand. I will unmute.
Yeah, Vishnu, you can also guide me how I can do that.
Sir,
Yeah,
basically, we firstly find declare one variable.
Okay,
that is
declaring one variable.
Suppose that is
Okay.
And put it my name, that is Vishnu.
Okay, Vishnu. Okay.
And we simply next in line.
Okay.
That is
Simply printing
okay.
Vishnu.
That is printing A. Okay.
Printing in what is A here?
A is a okay.
A is a variable. Okay.
Variable.
So your name is in the string format or is in integer format or is in float format? Which type of?
Sir, basically that is automatically in a string format.
Yeah, right, perfectly. So now if I want to take input from the user from the console only, and we need to print this, so how we can do that? Yeah, just try. Or
I something confused about that.
Okay, no problem, let me help you. So to do that, let us take another variable b, and in that b we just simply need to put input. What is this input? Input is a predefined keyword that helps us to take input from console. So let me remove this, or we can leave it. Okay, remove this. I'm removing this. See, now what it will do, it will ask for input. See, it is asking, right? Now I'm putting your name. Let us see. See here, it is printing your name. Let us do something. Hi, and then we need to print your name. Okay, these two we can do. Hi, Vishnu. See, now it is printing it. Hi, Vishnu. So this is how we are doing this. Anybody wants to say something, or can we move towards next activity, next program? Yes, thank you, Vishnu. Yeah, please raise your hand and we can do. Or also you can share your screen and you can do only. Yeah, it's very simple. I will guide you. Yeah, please, someone. Is someone speaking? Okay. Okay, now you can speak too.
So thank you, Naneshwar sir.
Okay.
First, I think there is one question in the chat box. You can just check and try to
Okay.
answer it.
Okay. Please repeat cube and square process. Okay. What is the name of function? Okay. Let me take that. Sorry. So here, see, we will directly take some values. A is equal to 3 and p is equal to 6. Okay, not 6. Let's take 5. So first question is what is this symbol, right? This. So this is nothing but this is modulo. Let me put it here. This symbol is called it as modulo. What it does, it helps us to print the remainder of the divisions. If you are dividing this 5 and we want 5 by 3, so its remainder should be 2. Why? Because after dividing 5, we are still remaining with the two numbers 3 1 4 plus 1 5. So two numbers are remaining, so that remainder we need to find it out. Most of the time anybody ask you to find the whether it is number even or not, or sometimes it might ask you to check the prime number. So for such operations you need this modulo symbol. So let me show you once again. See, it is printing its remainder as a true. Let us see another question. Yeah, cube and square. Now I am trying this. A, B. Right. So here now first of all what we will do, we will find the square of the 3, right? To find the square of the 3 we need to add a double star b. So here double star meaning we are placing it as a power. So b is power here, a is power. Okay, let me put it here. A power b, simply meaning of the below this statement. So now let us try this. See, what is the 3 square? 9. And if you want to print 3 cube, so simply we can do by using a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 3. Means what it is? 3 power 3. It will print 27. Right? This is how. Modulo. Okay. Okay, is there any other questions? Yeah, you can unmute yourself and you can ask.
Yeah, if anybody has any question, they can raise hand. I will give them permission to unmute.
Yeah, we are going from very bottom line. If you are aware, that will be a refresh for you, and if you are new to the coding or programming concept, then it will be helpful to you. Yeah, Anyone? Or let me. Okay. Let us try printing something. Loops are yet not covered. So let me start with the for loop. For loop. So for loop, when we required such looping statements, and sometimes we need to repeat some of the points for some time. So in such cases, we can use for loop, while loop. There is also if and else statement is also there. Yeah. First of all, we will try within a minute even and odd function. Even, odd. Okay, so let us find if a is even or not. So we have put some value in a, and now we need to check whether it is even or odd. If what we are doing now, a modulo 2, what it will give? It will give the remainder after dividing 2 if it is equal to 0. So here this equal to sign symbol we are using, this is known as assignment operator. If e modulo 2 is equal to 0, then what it is? It is even. If it does not, one more thing. Here in Python, we are very critical about using indentation. So we need to be very careful while using any function like this. So one thing we need to take it in our mind, that after using this if statement, this is something special. So we are using this colon, and then we are printing this is even. If else this condition fails, then it will come to the next loop, which is else. And here too, in C, C++, we are using such kind of brackets, right? But in Python, instead of that brackets, we are identifying the code for the statements by using the indentation. Indentation is nothing but the space after the this. Okay, start of the statement. So here by default we can give one space or two space, but it should be same throughout the statement or throughout the loop. Let us print this and odd. So this is odd number, so it will print as odd. So this is how the simple if else statement, and we are identifying the even and odd number by using this. So just make sure that you are noting it down, that indentation is nothing but the spaces between this first place and this whatever statement we are using in the loop or statement. So that is the indentation. So if you are adding one more statement here, and let us say we are taking one more space here. Now we are trying to print something odd number. Okay, this is how. But now it will print or not? It will not print. Why? Because this is throwing an indentation error, unexpected indent. So to cover this, what we need to make sure? We need to make sure that all the statements in this same loop or if else statement is indented. Indented means in the same column. Let us, this is same column. Like this we need to make sure. See, odd number, now it is successfully executed. Yeah. Yes, I am done with the today's topic. So if you are having any questions or you need any clarification, feel free to ask. Yes, please.
Sir, hello, sir. Sir, can you
Hmm.
just suggest us the books about this because sir, personally I am from the non-technical background. I'm
Okay.
pursuing my MSc. So sir, it is a
Yeah.
little bit confusing me or little bit difficult to
Hmm. Okay.
understand
Okay.
the symbols functions. So can you suggest us a
Yeah.
book or notes, anything, any reference for to understand the symbols? What is the meaning of the
Yeah.
symbol of the particular? So sir, can you suggest us?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Why not? Just search for Python W3 school. Are you using mobile or do you have any laptop or desktop? Huh?
Hello sir. Hello.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have, I have, sir, I have PC.
Okay. Okay. No problem. So you can go through this website. Here you will get all these basic high level overview that you can find. And yeah, see, text type, numeric type, everything is here.
Okay,
You can
okay,
visit this site. Okay. And one
okay
more
sir.
thing, if any user, any student is not having any mobile, any PC, either
Yeah,
laptop or desktop is not having, then they can
yeah.
also do this in your mobile too. Let me show you how we can do it in our mobile. I'm talking my screen and I'm sharing from my mobile. Just give me a moment. Hmm. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, see. So here, this is how we can practice in our Android mobile phone too. See, it is very simple.
Yeah, yes
Just
sir,
press
yes.
hello world and simply press here. It will print hello world. So this is also for your reference. Just now
Yeah,
we did this program, right? Or
yes yes.
it will take some time. It is loading. Until that we can wait. And when we see here at the top,
Mhm.
that RAM and disk is there. This is the green tick will come there, and then it will be fine. It will work. And this is how you can practice on your mobile too, because Python you can learn very easily and very quickly. This is as simple as English only.
Yes sir,
Just
from
we
this
need,
website,
yeah,
from this website ka collab.research
yeah, this,
Google.
right. Google Colab, yeah, right. Let me ping you in
Sir,
chat. Hmm?
hello. Sir,
Yeah, please go
can you
ahead.
please share any website name or documents on the group?
Okay, let me share this. Okay,
Yeah,
we will share.
yeah,
Okay,
yes
okay.
sir.
Yeah,
So
we
sir,
will
it will
share.
be help us to
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
the
Okay,
concepts.
okay,
Okay. Mm.
okay, 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 okay. So, thank you.
Thank you sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. So thank you, Naneshwar sir, for conducting such wonderful and helpful session. I hope all of boys found it helpful, this today's session. And also, I would like to thank all of the participants, all of you, for taking such enthusiastic part in today's session. And yeah, before ending today's session, I would like to make one very important announcement that tomorrow we are starting our DYS course, and tomorrow will be the first session, that is discover your inner self. So tomorrow's session will be at the same time, that is 6 p.m., and it will happen on the same Zoom ID, same as today's. So I request all of you to join tomorrow's session as well with the same enthusiasm you joined today's session. And thank you once again, all of you. See you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.